What if the person you love most is actually the biggest threat to your peace? Sounds dramatic? It isn't. Most people realize this only when it's too late, when they're already tied to someone who drains their joy and turns their home into a quiet battlefield. Let me ask you this. Have you ever ignored a red flag because you didn't want to start over? Have you ever told yourself, they'll change after we get married? Here's the truth. They won't. Marriage doesn't fix broken people. It amplifies their chaos. And today, I'm revealing the 5 types of destructive people you should never marry. Not avoid, not be careful with. I mean run, fast. Because their real personality doesn't appear during dating. It appears once the papers are signed and the doors close. That's when the mask comes off. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you won't just recognize these people, you'll know exactly how to protect your heart and your future. If you've ever second-guessed your partner's behavior but couldn't put your finger on what felt wrong, this will be your mirror. These 5 personality types don't show up in fairy tales, but they do appear in courtrooms, therapy sessions, and heartbreak stories. And once you know how to spot them, you'll never fall for the mask again. So don't blink. Don't skip. Every second is a layer pulled back from a truth that could save years of your life. If you're brave enough to face the truth, you'll walk away with something stronger than love. Clarity. And in relationships, clarity is everything. Let's go deeper. Let's start with the first type, the Fix Me Project. This is the person who's emotionally unstable, deeply broken, and expects you to play the role of their therapist. They come with no self-awareness, no growth, and no plan, just chaos. You think your love can heal them. But here's the truth. Love isn't therapy, and marriage isn't a rehab center. If they're not already fixing themselves, your relationship will become a never-ending rescue mission. Now, the second type, the emotional time bomb. At first, they seem passionate, intense, even romantic. But over time, you realize you're living with someone whose emotions explode without warning. They yell, slam doors, give you the silent treatment. You're always walking on eggshells. That's not passion, it's emotional instability. If they can't regulate their anger now, they won't magically become peaceful after marriage. If you're learning something new, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Your future self will thank you. Now let's talk about the master of blame, the professional victim. This person never takes responsibility. Every argument turns into a sob story where they're always the one who's been wronged. They can twist any situation to make you feel guilty, even when it's their fault. You'll find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, just to keep the peace. Over time, you start doubting your own reality. This isn't love. It's emotional manipulation at its finest. You can't build a future with someone who treats accountability like poison. Next is the lazy dreamer. This person talks big, business plans, big goals, endless promises, but there's no action. They admire your ambition while offering nothing but empty words. You end up dragging the entire relationship while they say, "You're doing amazing, babe," from the couch. At first, it seems like they believe in you, but soon, you realize they're just spectators in their own lives and dead weight in yours. A relationship without mutual drive becomes a burden, not a bond. You don't need a cheerleader, you need a teammate. The final type? The hidden controller. They don't start with orders or demands. No, they start with care. "I don't like when you wear that. Why are you texting them so much? Do you really need to go out tonight?" It sounds sweet. It sounds protective. But it's control, wrapped in affection. At first, you think it's love. But then your voice gets quieter. Your circle shrinks. You feel guilty for being independent. Control doesn't always scream. It whispers. And by the time you notice, it's already replaced your identity. These people don't want a partner. They want a puppet. If they're trying to own you now, imagine what happens after marriage. Spoiler, it gets worse. This isn't a relationship. It's slow erasure. And if you've seen even a glimpse of this in someone you're dating, run. Because the longer you stay, the harder it becomes to leave. Now ask yourself, is your relationship giving you freedom or taking it away? Because love should feel like wings, not chains. And if you're still unsure, watch this again. Your heart knows the truth. You just have to listen. Now let me flip the lens for a moment. Imagine standing at the altar, looking at the love of your life. But deep down, a tiny voice whispers, "You're making a mistake." Most people ignore that voice. They tell themselves it's just nerves, fear of commitment, or cold feet. But what if that voice is your intuition, begging you to listen before it's too late? Marriage doesn't create peace. It only exposes what already exists. If your relationship is already drowning in chaos, distance, and red flags, marriage won't fix it. It'll trap you in it. Picture 5 years from now. Same arguments, same emotional roller coaster, but now with legal paperwork, shared finances, and no easy way out. That's not just pain. That's a prison. People don't wake up one day toxic. They reveal it slowly, like poison dripping into water. The smart ones don't wait for the glass to overflow. They step back at the first drop. So ask yourself, is this love growing you or shrinking you? Is it support or is it silent damage? I once met someone who said, "I knew on my wedding day I was marrying the wrong person, but I didn't want to disappoint anyone." Think about that. They sacrificed decades of peace just to avoid one uncomfortable conversation. Now multiply that by thousands of people who stay because of guilt, pressure, or fear of being alone. That's how regret is born. Not in dramatic moments, but in quiet compromises. Love isn't supposed to be a contract of suffering. It's not meant to shrink you, isolate you, or turn you into someone you barely recognize. So ask yourself, are you being chosen, or are you being tolerated? Are you loved, or are you being managed? The difference between those answers will shape your entire future. Because the truth is, most people don't need to hear this video. They already know. Deep down, you know when something isn't right. You feel it in your chest, your sleep, your silence. The question isn't, do you know? The real question is, will you listen? So now you've seen that. The 5 types of people you should never marry. Not because they're evil, but because they'll never build peace with you. And here's the truth. It's better to be alone and growing than partnered and shrinking. Love isn't supposed to feel like walking on glass or tiptoeing around mood swings. It's supposed to feel like coming home. You deserve that. The biggest mistake people make? Thinking they can change someone with love. But love doesn't fix patterns. Awareness and action do. So protect your heart before it gets tangled in a lifetime of regret. And now, I leave you with one question. If you had to marry the person you're dating right now, exactly as they are, no changes, would you say, "I do"? If the answer is anything but a full-body yes, then you already know what to do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell